everybody, we're back here on Inside the Ropes, and this is an interview I never thought we would get to do. It is the one and only Jesse the Body Ventura. Jesse, from a Scotsman to a Minneapolis man, hello.
How you doing? Great to be here.
The jacket...
So you're from where Braveheart was from, huh?
Just down the road, like 10 minutes away.
Okay.
So you're here with a kick-ass jacket, but I want to, you're here, the Predator thing is still alive and well, all these years later. Carl Weathers is here as well. But I wanted to ask you because we cover wrestling, and obviously now WWE kind of are more accepting of their wrestlers going and doing movies like John Cena or Batista or whoever. But back when you did Predator, or when Hogan did Rocky 3 or whatever it was, Vince McMahon was not as accepting and wanting you to go and do Predator, and that actually led to a bit of a split that not a lot of people know about. Can you tell us about that?
Well, it led to more than a split. I quit. The thing is, today you have Vince is involved in the movies. So he's bankrolling Cena and all them. That's why they're stars. Now, not The Rock, because The Rock is, he's Dwayne Johnson has gone to where no wrestler has been before, not even Hogan, when it comes to Hollywood. Because, I mean, his list of films today is endless. But so all the kudos to The Rock, for what he was accomplished. But, I like to think that people like Hogan and I kind of paved the way for him. We showed Hollywood that wrestlers are as great a performers as anybody they have, and to include us in. So, it's back in our day though, yeah, and specifically what you asked about, when I got the Blaine role of Predator and I called Vince to inform him that I had gotten it because I got it completely independent, he forced me to quit because he said I couldn't do it. He wouldn't let me, he needed me. And I just said, well, I quit, because my feelings were I would never get a second chance to co-star with Arnold Schwarzenegger in a film that today would bring me to London and pay me to come here and sign autographs. That wouldn't have happened. So I knew wrestling was always going to be there. I have the talent, so when he threatens me with, well, you're quitting, I like I said to him, I could never get another Schwarzenegger chance. I can always come back to wrestling.
And you have many, many times. And
I did after that. I stayed with Vince till 1990, but we eventually separated because of a marketing thing.
That was the video game, right?
Well, he didn't own me, and he portrayed to everybody that he owned all of us, and I was going to market my own video game.
Because Sega had put a thing with a picture of Jesse Ventura's Wrestling Superstars. That was what led to the split, right?
Yeah, and so Vince told me I couldn't do it, and I said, you don't own me. I said, my name is copyrighted Jesse the Body Ventura to me, not to the WWF. And see, Vince couldn't have anybody out under the tent. You had to be under the tent, so it forced him to fire me. And so that's when he fired me, and I signed then with WCW for that period of 2 to 3 years, whatever, a couple of years with them, and then I eventually left wrestling for good.
Now, when you were there internationally, people know you from being there in wrestling through the WrestleManias and the SummerSlams and stuff. There was a lot of celebrity involvement in those shows, from Bob Uecker to Mr. T. Who was the most memorable celebrity involvement that you remember of those WrestleManias that you did?
Vanna White.
Any particular reason?
Well, because Vince promised her a date with me if she'd come. You don't remember that?
I do.
I went on the horn with Monsoon and that, and I said, I didn't agree to go out with Vanna White when they announced Vanna White was coming. I said, I didn't agree to go out. What does McMahon think this is? I have to take Vanna White out and show her a good time? And I went crazy on it, right? Well, it took off. The Globe and all these crazy magazines, I remember it. They had a photo of me and Predator. They had a photo of Vanna looking all, and it says, Vanna's, what did it say? Vanna's Wrestling Romeo. And they ran with it. And now I was having this huge love affair with Vanna White, and I got a little worried because, I had thrown this out, and I didn't know how she would take all this because it hit the tabloids, and all it was me doing my shtick. Yeah, I'd never even met Vanna. There was no agreement like that at all. It was just me doing shtick. And so when she got there, I went up to her and I wanted to apologize. She looked at me, smiled, and said, "You don't have to apologize." And then I had the copy. I have the copy. I got an autograph from her. She wrote on my copy, "No one will ever know for sure, love Vanna." So she was a sport all the way on it. But I'll never forget, she signed that copy for me. "No one will ever know for sure, love Vanna." My most memorable thing is this. I was the first wrestler in history that made Vince McMahon deal with an agent. Not even Hulk. Hulk had his Hollywood agent, but he dealt with Vince. Vince didn't allow agents. I forced Vince McMahon to deal with my representation.